Now on the new bombshell report showing the lengths the Trump administration officials went to stay in power during the final weeks in office. The New York Times has reviewed portions of newly uncovered emails provided to Congress and sent during the last week of December and January. In them, the Times reports that then Chief of Staff Mark Meadows asked Jeffrey Rosen, then acting Attorney General, to examine debunked claims of election fraud in New Mexico and an array of baseless conspiracies held that Trump had been the actual victor. Now, it's very important to note the Times reports that none of the emails show that Rosen agreed to open any investigations, and people close to Rosen say he definitely did not do so. But this comes as Trump gave a speech in North Carolina yesterday, continuing to tout the baseless fraud claims.
It was the third world country election like we've never seen before. Look at what took place. I want to congratulate, by the way, Republican state senators in Arizona and other places for their great work that they are doing in exposing this fraud. And maybe, again, I have nothing to do with the Arizona situation.
Joining me now, New York Times Chief White House Correspondent and Msnbc political analyst Peter Baker. Peter, always good to have you. So let's get to this new report and how it adds context to Donald Trump's big lie. What do you make of the Trump, via the Oval Office, pressure put on the Department of Justice?
Yeah, I think it shows just how intense the pressure really was all the way up basically till the end. It wasn't just something that ended once Bill Barr stepped down as Attorney General. Remember, Bill Barr, who, of course, had been so instrumental in President Trump's tenure, said that he saw no evidence of widespread fraud that would overturn the election. That was Bill Barr, President Trump's own Attorney General, and then he stepped down. What we see now from these emails is it didn't stop the pressure from the White House on that Justice Department to find something, anything at all, to justify finding a way to nullify or somehow overturn the election, no matter how far-fetched. It could be some sort of Italian conspiracy theory, as was put in these emails. It could be anything. Grasping at straws, literally trying to find, some justification for keeping President Trump in office, even though he lost by 7 million votes.
The Italian one, I thought about explaining it to viewers, but it's so ridiculous that I'm not going to bother. What about the fact that Donald Trump pointed to the review of the 2020 ballots underway, that recount in Maricopa County, Arizona? The NPR headline we're going to show says, experts call it a clown show, but Arizona audit is a disinformation blueprint. Does the New York Times piece say more, Peter, about just how desperate the administration was or how delusional their effort to overturn the election was, or both?
Well, the president even now is focusing on this so-called audit in Arizona and other efforts to try to prove one of these conspiracy theories might actually be true. It doesn't matter that, it doesn't actually have any impact. He's telling people he thinks he can be reinstated to the presidency in August. Obviously, there is no method under the Constitution in which that would happen no matter what happens.
And can I ask you quick, when August comes and goes and Donald Trump is still living at Mar-a-Lago, then what? I mean, what will be the next excuse, or how will people interpret that and just kind of go, oh, yeah, well, I guess that didn't happen?
Yeah, it'll be passed along as if nothing had ever happened, no prediction were ever made, and people will move on. He's trying to keep himself obviously in the limelight. He craves attention. He craves, being part of the conversation. It's one reason he eliminated his blog because it wasn't getting enough attention. So you see the beginning of a more campaign-style approach by him. This meeting last night that he went to, he's going to be going and hosting a number of campaign-style rallies in the weeks and months to come. He will continue to tease out this idea that he might run for election again in 2024, as he did just this last week. And so I think that, he will try to keep in the public limelight. None of this is going to put him back in the White House by itself. I mean, he could have, in theory, run again in 2024 and presumably win. But he's not going to be reinstated by these sort of, odd audits, if you want to call it that, in Arizona. Remember, this is a partisan, effort being led entirely by Republicans. It's not a state-sanctioned effort. And even if he were somehow to overturn the Arizona elections, which cannot be overturned at this point, there's still going to be two states other that he'd have to overturn in order to change the outcome of the Electoral College. And we can't do that at this point. It's been certified President Biden is in the White House. All of this is just feeding into conspiracy theories and fantasy views of the way a democracy works.
Yeah, let's remind folks, guess what day it was certified? January 6th. Okay, Peter Baker, lots to talk about in the upcoming week. We'll have you back next weekend. I hope to talk about Joe Biden, his trip overseas, and the results of all that. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you.